Welcome back. Now, the Eswatini Public Procurement Regulatory Agency will, for the next 3 days, hold a training session for government and state-owned entities throughout the country to capacitate them on the newly developed standard bidding documents. What are standard bidding documents? What are some existing gaps and shortcomings within the procurement system? How do they affect the system, and how will addressing them make the procurement system in Eswatini more efficient? Now, joining me to discuss this development further, Nyalongu Babe Veli Ngwenya, who is the Senior Investigations Officer under the Compliance Department from the Eswatini Public Procurement Regulatory Agency. Mabuya, siyakhulu ukuthi joina lamhla ehlelweni siyathi ukuthi sinivosalo wangetingwedi kodwa nje sibongile ukuthi ukhona unathi lamhla ekuseni. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Mr. Ngumalo. Good morning to the nation. My name is Veli Ngwenya from ESPPRA under the Compliance Department, Audit and Compliance Department.
Thank you for that clarification, Mabuya. Inzaba yema standard bidding documents. In fact, inzaba the procurement, Mabuya, diya tibe khuni ukuthi tibe palatable for the viewer, noma ke for the consumer. The language icishe nje kufanele ne law in terms of ukuthi it can fly over your head, but I'm happy ukuthi lana namhla kudawu unpacker nanke ma standard bidding documents. We understand ukuthi kune training lecala lamuhla, but just singangeni kuyo training ingabe kungaba nje kusichazela ukuthi what are standard bidding documents for the viewer, for the benefit of the viewer.
Thank you, Mr. Ngumalo. Thank you to the nation. Standard bidding documents, these are documents which are used in the procurement process, in particular during the bidding process, because there are different stages of the procurement process, and the bidding documents comes in at the bidding stage, and these are standard documents which are used across the procuring entities, which needs to conform to certain standards. We are not in isolation in the procurement space. We are also, there are other communities, international community and regional level, which are also doing procurement. So these documents must at least conform to standards. It should be unique and very unique to Eswatini.
Yeah, makes sense. So I suppose when you conduct a training, there are, presumably some existing gaps and shortcomings that you want to close. I want you to usipele sithombe salawo my existing gaps and shortcomings lenwabonile ning as praleni bona ukuthi ngale training indawo khona kwavala.
Thank you. Firstly, there is a requirement by the law that ESPPRA must come up with standard bidding documents. We must develop standard bidding documents. So we are not only closing those gaps, but it's a mandate by the Act of Parliament, which is the Public Procurement Act number 11 of number 7 of 2011. So it mandates ESPPRA to develop the standard bidding document. So the gaps that have been observed already is that the procurement process in bidding stage is not harmonized. The different entities, as you know, we are regulating about 91 public entities. So they are using different bidding document. So the process is not harmonized because each particular procuring entity will come with their own standard bidding document. But we do verify them, check them, try to make them to conform to the standards of procurement.
So I suppose the follow-up question would be, how does harmonizing them then benefit the procurement system as a whole?
It will enhance transparency, certainty, because you'll find at the moment that there will be a bidding document which the evaluation criteria is not clearly articulated in the document. So now that gives a challenge to the bidder, who must know before bidding what criteria or methodology will be followed or will be applied in terms of evaluating the bid and eventually coming up to the best evaluated tenderer.
I want us to get into the training nyalo. I think lo sokuchazile sekuyasipha lesithombe sebumqoka bawo lama standard bidding documents nalokuthi yini wona lama standard bidding documents. The training, I believe, begins today for the next 3 days. Am I correct?
Yes, correct.
Yes. So just what are the expected impacts and outcomes from this training?
We are expecting that procuring entities will embrace the change that now they need to use these standard bidding documents, and they must acquaint themselves in terms of populating the information that comes from their end. For instance, the specification for a particular procurement that has to be populated by the procuring entity. So they must understand how these standard bidding documents are necessary and how they are important to them as well. As I've mentioned, that you will not miss now the issue of evaluation criteria and methodologies. So I think they must, they will find value in them.
Yes, it's going to be very helpful indeed. I want you to give us an overview of the training. Who are you working with? The training, as I believe there is a certain ministry from the Parliament and just to give us an overview of the training and what are the requirements that are part of the training then?
Thank you. We are working with our mother ministry, which is the Ministry of Finance, and the ministry principal secretary has opened officially the meeting yesterday, and we are with them throughout the training, and we are also working with the government of Japan, which have an AFDB, which have made sure that the training is it happens this week. So it will run this week and next week, and we have invited procuring entities, which is the government ministries, the parastatals, and local government. So we have our participation thrown from that category.
Yeah, I want us to break down the standard bidding documents, ngalama categories. Documents now, the standard bidding documents for works and standard bidding documents for goods. Before we get to point number 3, the way request for proposal to select consulting firm. What are the standard bidding documents for works and standard bidding documents for goods, and what's the contrast there really?
Okay. Yeah, in procurement, we segment the procurement in 2 categories. There is procurement of goods, there is procurement of services, and procurement of works, and procurement of a combination of goods and works. So that is now called non-consultancy services. So there are different bidding documents for different purpose. So if you are procuring goods, you'll use the standard bidding document for goods. And if you are procuring works, you will use that relevant and corresponding document. Yes.
Outside there's this general sentiment where we would see, the presence of price not really being widely felt by the general public due to inadequate resources. Do you see the breach, your presence, a closer, and perhaps what are some of the interventions that you feel like ESPRA will have to make in making sure your presence is really felt by the general public? And perhaps to summarize that, why is it very much important for your presence to be felt by the public?
I think it's important, and very much so, because we are working with the public indirectly, because we are regulating public entities which are directly working with the public in terms of providing essential services, the works, and providing goods for efficient operations of government entities. So it is very much important that the public knows that there is a SPPRA who is doing the regulation, and what we are doing is that we also involve the suppliers which are now doing business with government.
Yeah.
And for instance, during this training, we'll also invite, and there are also invited suppliers to participate. And we have advertised that in our social media streams, like our page, Facebook page, and WhatsApp. So we are advertising that suppliers who are interested in getting knowledge on how to bid with government, especially using these standard bidding documents which are forthcoming, they must show their interest by registration. The registration closes today, and that training will be free for the suppliers, for those that would be allowed in terms of the registration process. Yeah. Thank you.
You know, as you mentioned, government, there is that, you know, that knowledge that you were promulgated by government to do the work that you do. But I want you to explain to the viewer at home the relationship between government and ASPRA to, you know, also kuvala na misinformation I would see ASPRA government lotimele ayetva. Just, you know, what is the relationship between government and ASPRA?
Okay, thank you. Firstly, I'll start off by mentioning that we are a creature of a statute. We are established by Section 9 of the Public Procurement Act, number 7 of 2011. That being said, it means we are not a standalone. We are part of government. We are under the Ministry of Finance, and we are having a healthy relationship with working with government. There could be some challenges here and there, but that does not mean that there is no healthy relationship between us. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Mabuya, kusijoyina namhla ehlelweni. Ngithemba ukuthi the information that you wanted to communicate has been communicated clearly, especially to those that have to attend training leqala kulolu suku lwalamuhla. And again, just to confirm, it's going to be for the next 3 days and 3 days only.
It's going to be the next 3 days, and next week we'll also be training other, because I said we are regulating 91 entities, 91 so we couldn't bring them on board at once. Yes, yeah, they are coming. The other group is coming next week.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so there it is, Mr. Mabuya. So it's training. It will be ongoing from today and the next 3 days, as well as the 2 coming weeks. That I'll be say ayalandzela September kutsi bonke labo lokufuna kutsi babe part of this training. But uyingenela, the time is 44 minutes after 7. Asipahlolet market uma sibuya lungelele uhlala phansi nalabo lati bakhulumisa ngokugubha lusuku lwelulwimi lwemitsabo.